Let's go. Yeah, man, that's it, man. Every Tuesday, Reminisce Show. Mm, beautiful vibes. Preserving our culture, our history with integrity.
Yeah. Every week.
Every week, man, carrying the traditions of
Carrying the
Sankofa.
tradition.
Because sometimes we got to go back and collect what we may have forgotten. Yeah, man. And more than ever, man, do I keep seeing and hearing the relevance of that, man. It just keeps showing itself, man. And I'm just excited, man, that we've been on this path, man, for over 2 years. It's kind of crazy to think that. We started this in the middle of the pandemic, just something that we want to do to keep active, keep our mental health and our mindset going. And it really, like I'm really seeing things start to move, how it's really aligned with like the stars and aligned with the energy and the inquiry. People want to know, and we're here to bring that. We're here to connect with the real, with the people who are there, the story keepers, the oral traditions, man, and we're here to bring it to the forefront, man. So
100%.
man.
100%. Because so many people need to know, so many people want to know, so many people don't know how much they don't know and how much they really need to learn. And there's the interesting thing. We live in an era also of the hot take, and there's people on the internet. I mean, internet platforms exist for a variety of reasons, and some of them blow up because they're running with some fuckery, to be honest. Just like, to cut it short, they could be like, putting some very, very like personal information about somebody out there, or they could be like saying silly takes that get a lot of attention and get a lot of people just talking, be like, oh, Future is more important than Tupac, or like, like Public Enemy only has one classic album, or some like silly things, the random things that people do for engagement. And it's like, that's just short-term attention that you might get. And like, we can all talk about critical opinions about everything, sure. And this new generation has like opinions that we can all respect, and we have to look at the new places that the culture has taken us, sure. But at the end of the day, there's certain truths that are eternal and certain things that are just timeless. And there's a lot of timeless stuff that needs to be reflected upon. So
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think a lot of it's really influenced by like the soap opera drama culture. You know what I mean? Like where it's just like, let's just say anything to get people reactionary, under the context of entertainment. But like the problem is that we're dealing with like actual lives, I mean, where we're dealing with like the actual context of our history, the foundations of like who we are. And yeah, we have to protect it. So I think there's like a lot of these like overlaps where things just get mixed up. But this is what happens when you don't have the knowledge, man. When you don't do the knowledge, you really gotta, so
you get lost, you get caught up in some bullshit, you end up dying over something small, or like getting arrested or locked up for things that are not worth life. Things are not worth the cultural legacy, not the family, not all these things that we build up, and like all the success that we have hip hop for. Like, why would somebody want to be all successful and throw it away for like a really petty beef and some like macho hood bullshit? Like, it's really not worth it.
I mean, the bottom line is, it's like, are we promoting life, or are we promoting death? I mean, like at the end of the day, like it really boils down to those two paths. And there comes a point where we really got to make a choice. Are we, like you mentioned, are we talking about the initial moments, or are we talking about legacy?
Legacy,
you know what I mean? Like, what energy are you putting out there? Because yeah, we gotta be a little more intentional, yo. So.
That's it. And I say that because like I was in New York, man, and some real legacy lessons were taught to me, like on levels that I'm still taking in. I was crying this morning when I was going through some of the pictures, fam. Like, I'm still having it resonate in me, man, because I ain't been to Mecca and like, hey, wait. Did we?
I was gonna say before, yeah. I mean, you're getting right into it. I didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, you already caught yourself.
Yeah.
Check in. Okay, I'll just tap in, man. Yo, I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling that. I'm right now. I'm really excited about just like opportunities and the potential. And I just love this energy that's happening right now where people are so curious about like the history and culture. You know, last week was your birthday. You know what I mean? I was blessed enough to come spend it with you in your sacred space. And,
Peace.
you know, we got hit with an exclusive. I don't want to give too much away, but you had this exclusive documentary that was filmed from 2004, I believe.
2000,
Maybe
2004.
even
You're right. It was 2004. You're right.
2004. And all I can say is that I'm not even gonna speak too much on it because I want to have like a proper rollout for this. But all I can say, it is gold. There are super gems. It really solidifies a lot of like the Toronto hip hop energy at that time in particular. You know what I mean? CDs and the whole era, and also like it gives a lot of insight into you and really shows that yo, like you're really in it, like, you know,
Really in
not
it.
just as like the guy in the front of the stage, you know what I mean, but doing like, you know, amazing things and really like, you know, setting the way, like, you know, having a double album and you interacting with a certain individual, which I'm sure we'll get to at another time, and you just being, you know, really, you know, standing in your integrity and being like, no, this is what it is, regardless if you agree with it or not. But anyways,
Yeah.
there was a lot. So I'm just excited about this whole energy. This week is Manifesto week. A lot of things are happening. You know, the summit kicks off today with a lot of like, you know, topics on like branding and just, you know, getting your music out there. And, you know, there's a partnership with YouTube Black. Like I never heard of this until today, actually. You know, there's like, I guess like a Black division for YouTube, which I'm curious to know about because I'm trying to, you know, figure out what's going on and how can we get tapped into that.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, anyway, so there's a lot that's going on. Tomorrow I'm going to be facilitating a conversation with a Johnny Charles, who has the project T Dot, for those who know, so over at you know, City Hall, and it's an exhibit that really, you know, gives like a glimpse into like the Toronto hip hop history, starting from like 2006, and it's a great tool for conversations. Make sure you all go check that out. I'm gonna be having more conversations with him tomorrow. And then we have like the big show on Friday. So, you know, there's a lot that's going on. I'm super inspired. Like you said, like people are really curious about the history, and I'm like, ooh, man, gather around, children. It's story time.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
is story time. It is story time. So many gems and it all, because the beautiful thing is, as is Sankofa tradition, as an African tradition, it doesn't matter how far back you go, but like it doesn't matter like what part of Black music history you tap into, like it's echoing today. It's
Yes.
like there's some version of it that's like so many things that like so many African statements just really apply to hip hop. There's nothing new under the sun. It really isn't. Like it's just, and it's like it's not like all these kids are not doing anything new, but it's just like a modern, the game don't change, only the players kind of thing. Like it's just a modern remix of an old idea. So like
That's it.
so like it's dope to see where you know, Sweet 16 for Manifesto, and
Yep.
it's dope to see it come this far. And like everything in hip hop culture, there's so many wonderful things about it, and there's also things that can be like fixed and flipped and remixed, and we can make readjustments along the journey. That's what Growing Pains is about. And like
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in like, you know, restoring integrity, you know, as human beings, you know, like no one is exempt from being corrected. No one is exempt from guidance, and yeah, you know what I mean? So like just being open to that. And I know, like, you know, I've been working closely with Manifesto on a lot of, you know, different levels. I mean, I've been working with Manifesto from the jump, from its inception, you know, when it was just an idea. And I do understand that, you know, as things grow and progress, man, there's it's a lot, you know what I mean? It requires a lot of like, you know, like energy, a lot of knowledge. And you know, like I'm just here to help support with all of that. You know, that's really what it is. You know, like my agenda is really just the preservation of our culture, the preservation of our integrity. You know what I mean? Oftentimes when it comes to Black culture in general, you know, it's there's a lot of like gaps that get missed, you know, and just like the foundations, you know, are misunderstood. And like you mentioned before, it's like stuff that people don't know they don't know. And you know, that's why like the tradition of Sankofa is so transferable. It goes into so many different areas of life. I love it. It's beautiful. I love how it keeps showing up every single time because it's so crucial. as a saying goes, man, if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where you're going.
That's
and when
so
you don't
real.
know where you're coming from, like you can really see the results of that. And it's up to us as knowledge keepers, as people who has the information, to really do our due diligence as well, to like step up and help the younger generation and really, guide them and show them a thing or two. I think it's really for us to also step up, so we can't just blame the youth and say this and that. It's like we also got to look at ourselves and see, like, well, are we reaching out a hand? Are we extended a hand up as well? Right. So
that's exactly it. You're right, fam. And like, yeah, I had some experiences in New York that just
let's go, man. Break it down for us, man.
They said, as they say in New York, they put the battery in my back, man. Like, I mean, I'm usually that Drake moment really charged me up and made me feel very inspired. But then I go to New York City for Rock the Bells and
Rock the Bell. First, before you get into Rock the Bells, like, please tell the people what Rock the Bells is, man. This is crazy. Mindbender Supreme, man, like, was at Rock the Bells in New York, the mecca of hip hop, the foundations. Please let the people know what Rock the Bells is for those that don't know.
So Rock the Bells is, this year, it was the reincarnation of the old Rock the Bells festival that happened about 10, 15 years ago. That started in Cali, and it was run by a guy that I talked to. Actually, I interviewed for Now magazine, called Chang Weisberg. But it was like a California hip hop festival, and they had a lot of Wu-Tang reunions. They had Public Enemy, Black Stars, Slaughterhouse. They had like literally almost everybody in the underground. They had mad people on Rock the Bells, and it started in Cali, went national, came here 4 or 5 times, and it started actually right at Warehouse. The first Rock the Bells was at Cool House Warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God, that's a story that needs to be told straight up. That story is so fucked up, so insane. The very first Rock the Bells, it was a shit show. I really have to stop for a moment. Mad people were supposed to come, and like only EPMD showed up, and Supernatural. Raekwon didn't show up.
Wow.
Method Man didn't show up.
But what year was this?
This is about 2010, 2009.
All right.
So the first Rock the Bells here was like really horrible. EPMD showed up and barely anybody else. And then then a few years later they got it better. They next year was like J Electronica, Tribe Called Quest, Farside, Rakim, and then it finally got big enough where they did a couple of versions at the Molson Amphitheater, and we had like the American size Rock the Bells here. But then for some reason that's not even really fully made public. Like the festival stopped, so they didn't do it anymore. That being said, LL Cool J picked it up, and he now is the new organizer of the Rock the Bells festival. So this was the first Rock the Bells in probably like 7 or 8 years, and they rebranded it. LL Cool J is running it. There's a bunch of hip hop people in the organization, and it was a fantastic time. So,
sorry, before you continue, I just want to add to it. Like, I think that's like a brilliant branding of having LL Cool J for like some obvious reasons, but he also has like a radio show on Sirius XM called LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio, right? So like having that all tied in it's like who else could really bring that integrity? You know what I mean? And that's what I mean though, like, because I really want to bring in the home, like, with all these like festivals and stuff, because there is a lot to talk about, but like all this idea of like, bringing it back to like integrity, and how can we like preserve the culture, right? Because it is important. Yeah, there's shit shows and things that happen, but how can we still keep it going? We don't want it to be canceled. We want to keep this going and make it better every time. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
You're absolutely right, man. And like before I even talk about the music, you made me talk, like, there's a moment where in the middle of the festival, a bunch of black council people and black politicians came out and were like, yo, we know this is a hip hop festival, but like, this is run by the community. This is for the community. We're here. We see LL. We're giving LL the key to Queens. There's like the first black female councilman was speaking, and they had that moment to just be like to just prove the integrity of like, and then LL is like, I love this. This is for Queens. This is for the people. And just to let you know, LL was like, this organization has ownership. The people that own this people, like the ownership in this organization, are like Cool Herc, Roxanne Shante, Eminem, Big Daddy Kane, all just like, they're like, these are the people that will like own it, and this is what it's built on, and it's like the culture owned and run by the culture. It was so wonderful.
Integrity, man. I keep using that word, and I'm gonna keep drilling that, man. That's gonna be the next word, besides Sankofa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep drilling it, man. But just like you said, everybody that was mentioned, I'm like, yeah. Okay, it's in good hands.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like when I went there, I was like, you know what? I'm so happy because this is peace. All the food court was the food court was all hip hop food. It was really interesting. Nas has a thing, chicken thing called Sweet Chick. Goon with a Spoon, E40, Mia X had her food there. Bun B had his food there. And Styles P and Jada had their juices for life. So I was like, this is fucking heaven. This is amazing.
Wow.
Ghostface Killer had his Ghostface coffee. So all of that's the food court, all hip hop franchises. I'm like, this is amazing. That being said, I unfortunately did not get to eat any of that food for one reason. The lineups were very long, and I was like, I either stand in line to eat this wonderful Bun B vegan burger.
Okay.
Bun B had a vegan burger. He had like Bun B won the best burger in America for his Trill burgers. Like he won an award recently.
Wow,
like they're really great.
Oh man, Bun B, yo.
I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, he's got a vegetarian option. This is sick. But I was like, I either stood in line like an hour for that, or I drop off my vinyl to DJ Scratch because I had 3 pieces of vinyl. I went with my homie's vinyl. On this compilation. Here's Collision. All right, Collision. Shout out Collision, but where am I at? Yeah, here's me. Sorry, this is backwards. Here's me. But yeah, here's Thrust and like.
That's peace, man. Salute.
So this is mad Canadian people. So I brought 3 copies of this down. And I brought it to, I ended up meeting DJ Scratch. Mad love to him. Scratch, thank you for accepting the vinyl. So I was like, yo, man. But that took a few hours. So it was like, I either eat or I hook up the DJ with that. So
gotta make it happen, bro.
That's it. All that being said, to the show was fantastic. It was, I missed Large Professor. He was the first person. I unfortunately missed him. Saw Diggable Planets. Trina, Fat Joe, Scarface was fantastic. Never saw Scarface ever. He was fantastic. I want to play a bit of the Scarface clip because it was really special.
All right.
Dipset, LL Cool J, he was a headliner, but Busta Rhymes, Lil C's, Ice Cube, and that was most of the performance. There was a couple other ones. Dipset, and so it was a fantastic hip hop night, just wonderful hip hop. Roxanne Shante is the host, and then they had a name this sample segment, and it's like Just Blaze is playing samples, and like cats in the crowd are naming samples. And,
I love that. Yeah, man.
It was
your homework.
Your homework straight up. Like, yo, you know the samples, and it was what's his name? Greg Nice as the host. So it was just like so much hip hop.
What about before you play the clip? Like, what about merch, yo? I'm curious to know like what kind of merch was around, man. Because like you're saying that artists and rappers had their own like vendor booths. Everything was hip hop related, which I think is very cool. And this goes back to like the integrity. You know what I mean? When festivals really integrate like the community into the agendas. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing more frustrating than going to like say like an Afro Fest and then seeing like burgers and fries, and it's just like, yo, this ain't it, fam. Like, with all due respect, like that ain't it. Like let's stay on topic, you know what I'm saying?
That's it. You're absolutely right. I mean, the merch was mostly Rock the Bell stuff. That wasn't too much, but like I didn't see any of the artist merch. It was like it was hip hop based merch that like a couple.
That's cool. I was just curious, man. But the vendor, that's really exciting, and that's giving me ideas for like future things, because I think that's how we maintain integrity and really let the dollar circulate within our community, man. Like this is something that's always been like a struggle when it comes to like hip hop and our community in general. You know what I mean? Like our dollars always go outside And I think this is a beautiful way to really show that and be empowered. Man. Like, love it.
You're so right, man. Like I actually just remember there was some pictures we took right at the merch booth, and I don't know if I can pull them up, but like, yeah, we had some interesting moments there. Yeah, here it is. They had there was like this bodega thing they had.
Okay.
Yeah, this DJ did that.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a few. Yeah, this is the merch booth. They had a bunch of hip hop things set up. All this graffiti in the back that people could check out. Sorry, I don't have it loaded on.
And just for the record, like Rock the Bells Festival was out in Queens, New York.
Yes. It was Forest Hills Stadium. So apparently they're like, yo, this is J. Cole's hood. He's usually seen biking around here all the time.
I love it.
Yeah, it was tight. So that being said, I want to play just two little clips. One, the Scarface one. The Scarface one was really special because you'll see why.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Let me just do the share screen. Good evening, Colleen and Righteous, our peoples. So this was Scarface's first solo show in New York ever. And
first solo show in New York ever. Like this, really?
Yeah, and this is also his farewell tour. So
right.
Like but his voice was kicking holes in the speaker. Like he is a strong, powerful MC legend. Like not a slacker, not a flop, not washed up. None of that. This is a like a icon, a master, a king speaking. So
telling you, man, let's go, man.
I'll just play honors. I want to play a little bit of a song, and then I want to play a little bit of a moment that happened that I have to be like, this is every I just want you to appreciate it.
Let's go.
Scarface.
And that's what hip hop means to me. Hey, can I get this mic turned up in the wedges, please? That's what it means to me. I love y'all, man. I hit a hump.
I was there.
I caught the call. I caught the COVID.
Oh.
Before we even knew what the COVID was. So, outside of having bilateral pneumonia, my heart filling up with fluid, having the COVID, and both of my kidneys failed, I'm still alive right here today. By the grace of God, who sent me a son.
This was so dope.
Who sent me a son that donated a kidney to his father. So, don't look at me like I'm no motherfucking hero. Here's a hero right here. Give it up for my son, Chris Short.
Wow. Whoa.
Put on your mind.
Watch this, man.
It's time. Don't waste your fucking time, man.
Let's go.
I seen a motherfucker get his woman back. He got his house back. He got his car back. But he can't get that time back. And you don't know how valuable time is until you realize your clock is ticking. Do me a favor. Don't waste your fucking time, y'all. There's gonna be some stuff you're gonna see out here that's gonna make it real difficult for you to smile.
Oh. Man.
All homies that have passed away. And I'm not here to see this wonderful day. Rock up, yeah.
Oh man, wow. Yo, that hit me still, man. That hit me.
Yo, I'm crying right now, dog.
I'm just like, bro, like, oh, that's such a beautiful moment, like for real, like, woo. I was not expecting that. I'm not even gonna pretend, man. Like that's and just the whole idea of just like not wasting time, man, and just being, present in the moment, because that's exactly why we do what we do, man. It's like, we don't want to waste time, man, because when that clock's ticking, man, and realize, man, the time's done. It's like, what are we going to do? We can't get that back. That's why they say the present is a gift, man. But that was beautiful, man. Like we need more of that energy in hip hop. It brings things into reality. It restores integrity. It builds like respect for our foundations and delivers like stronger purpose moving forward. You know what I mean? Like that's the energy, that's the frequency that I'm on. I stand beside until the end. That's what it is.
Yeah, man. You know it. Yeah, so that shit was dope.
Whew, man. And just to be there in that moment, man. Like, can you like just talk a bit about that moment, like seeing that live? Like you're there, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to soak in that energy, man. So why don't you break that down for us? Like, what were you feeling in that moment? What were some of your reflections?
Man, I'm all fucked up still, dog. I'm crying over it still, man. Straight up. Like, that was dope. It was like hot. It was crazy. People were cheering. That was like one of the best parts of the show for sure. Like, no, it's all right. Sorry, man. I'm just
man, this is real, man. This is hip hop, man. This is what we need. You know what I mean? There's too much acting, too much fakeness going on, man. Like, we don't have like the vulnerability, man. We don't have like the authenticity. But that's what's lacking. That's the problem in hip hop, man.
No,
you know what I mean? Music is supposed to make you feel things, man. It's supposed to.
That was the realest part of the show for sure. Like, it was so dope, man. Yeah, it was amazing, man. Like Scarface, I've been a fan of that dude since like '91, though. So it's like,
man. Yeah, man. And the sun to come out, man. Like, like, wow, hard.
Dog, probably talk to you more about it later.
Got you, man. All right, man. What you got next, man? You got any more like happier moments, man? But I will say that transition to smile, man, I would have lost my shit. Like, woo!
Dog, he was playing like, he let Tupac's verse run, man. It was so dope, man. I was like, oh man, it was so
man. It's like church, man. It's like hallelujah, man. Praises. Man, that's beautiful, man.
It really was.
Shout out to the OGs, man. The pioneers in this, man.
Yeah, this shit hit me right in my heart.
We need it, man.
Yeah.
We need that.
And then this one happened. This one was a little different. Ooh, man, I'm fucking.
What we got, man? What we got?
Okay. Yeah, this shit was dope. I just play. He had a good show, and there was a little surprise in this part. This was cool. He's a little headliner.
You ready? Make some goddamn noise!
Yeah, this is like.
This is my jam. Yeah, you gotta get some volume if you can, bro.
Yeah?
Go call it a comeback. Making the team scream down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, exploding. Overpowering, over the competition. I'm towering, get shot. When I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the shot. You can't stand, you let them move. Don't ever go there. Beat to the best and all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. Pulling out you out. Mama said not too high. Pulling out you out. Mama said not too high. Pulling out you out. Mama said not too high. Pulling out you out. Mama said not too high. You call this a
Man. Woo. Just getting warm.
Yeah, man. So that was that.
Oh man, like honestly, like I haven't seen LL perform live, but like, if he's ever coming to Toronto, like I'm canceling everything and I need to be there. Like that whole album, man, like that's like my childhood, man. Like My pops had that the cassette tape, and he'd play that like all the time, so I knew all those songs, man, from young. And every time, and those tracks still bang, they still hit.
All of it.
The fact that he can still perform them, man, like I love it, it's crazy, yo. That's the hip hop that needs to be celebrated, man. No karaoke singing, no doing ad libs to your own song, like rapping, like really rapping.
Dog, every single person there rocked over their own stuff except for Fat Joe. Fat Joe was the only person rapping on his vocals. It was like, man, this is New York, man. What the fuck, man? No,
this is the one place where it's like, no, man, no. You got to be rapping and sounding like the original recording.
Man, Fat Joe was hella whack. He did a bunch of whack things. I was like, man, I love you, Joe, man, but I'm like, you're on some whack bullshit. You're on some. Man, he did some.
Got to do.
That's all he did, man. All his pop. He didn't do nothing from the 90s.
Man, we need that Joey Crack, man.
None of that Joey Crack shit. I'm like, yo, this is New York. I rocked it. I was like, bro, come on, man. It was so weak. But,
well, yo, man. Honestly, like just the glimpses, and I'm sure there's many other moments that are worth noting, but that was beautiful, man. That was beautiful.
I want to end off real quick, just talking about like. So when you were talking about the energy in New York, like, the show started at 12. It was really hot till about like 7 p.m., like burning hot. I thought my vinyl was gonna melt. So I was like, yo, I gotta get this to scratch quick. I'm like, this is going
right.
So, and then like around like 10 or 11, Busta Rhymes was like the energy peak. And then after that is Ice Cube, which isn't it? Ice Cube's not as hype as Busta Rhymes, just whatever.
Right.
Do the West Coast thing. And then LL. But then like LL just starts, and LL doesn't have new stuff or whatever. It's like all classics and stuff. So, a lot of people are like, I've been here all day, 10 hours of hip hop. I'm good. I'm leaving. So, some shows like people are leaving by the headliner, right? For like some long festivals. For about 4,000 or 5,000 people left, and like 45 minutes, like not 45 minutes, probably about 30 minutes into LL's set, LL is like, I'm gonna do this thing called the Authentic Mixtape. And he's like, for all y'all who stick around you're gonna see some special. He's like, I gotta do this right. He's like, this is Rock the Bells. So LL brings out Brand Nubian. Brand Nubian comes out, all three of them. They just rock One for All. Everyone's like, oh shit, okay. This is here exclusive.
Yep.
And he brings out Ultramagnetic MCs. Milk D.
What? Yo.
Cool G Rap.
Come on. Yo. Oh man. Yo, I got to be there next year, man. Like I have to be. Like, I feel like my soul like needs this. Like everything you're saying, like my soul is like, yo, like the way how you're describing it, like I feel like I'm there. Like, and that's how I know there's a spiritual energy to it. Like this isn't just music. This is on a whole other vibration, a whole other frequency. And I can just see the way how you're you can't even speak.
Yeah, it was great.
Yo, oh my gosh, man. Like it's church, like you know what I mean. You're at church, bro.
It was great. So
no need to apologize, man, for your vulnerability and your authenticity, especially when it comes to aspects of our culture that's healing. You know what I mean? Like that's what we need, man. Like I said, man, are we promoting life or are we promoting death, man? These are questions we got to continually ask ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like. And what you experienced was nothing but healing energy. You know what I mean? It was nothing but Sankofa. It was nothing about a renewal of vows. You know what I mean? To the culture. You feel me? It was like all of that. And it's like if you had any doubt before, like, and I see what you're saying. Like the Drake moment was blessed. Like that, like led up to it. But now it's like, yo, it's go time, man. That's all I got to say, man. It's go time, man. And we're not gonna stop, man. We're on a mission. Like we have to. It's like the culture is counting on it. The culture is counting on it.
It really is, man. I want to show you one last thing. I was trying to.
Let's go, man. You
if you could just talk for a sec, because I can barely talk, man.
I got you, bro. What you got, man? What you got?
I want to try to find something I did for you, man.
Oh, okay.
I had like 3 phones though, so I don't know which phone it's on because it was hard to. Shout out Jolene though.
Like, shout out, man. No doubt, man. Bless you, man. Birthday gift with the phone, man. Like, you're like, shoot, man. I need some more documentation, man. The phones I got is trash, and she came through, man. Bless you with the iPhone, yo.
Yeah, she blessed me big time, man. But yeah, man, I can't. One of these damn phones, man.
Well, at least, yeah. Oh, yes, sir. The subway vibes, man. Just make sure, man, those like transit police, man.
That was good, yo. That's good, man. Yo, man.
Man, that's love, man. That's love.
If I had to run, I would run, man. That's how you do
it. That's New York right there, man. Like I know for sure, like I feel it in my heart that like, yo, SFA needs more presence in New York. Like I feel like, you know, like the OGs, man, everybody, the foundations, man, they see that are gonna be like, yo, like this is it. This is what we gotta do, man. I need to connect with LL, man. Like I just know these people. You know what I'm saying? I know that there's some energy, man. Everything you're saying, I'm like, yo, I just want to wave that flag, yo, and connect. Man, but it's coming though, man, and I really feel it. You know, we know the Hip Hop Museum launch is coming up, man. Like that is something I'm really going to be intentional about, to be part of that movement and just be with, you know, the people that I feel like that raised me, yo. Like honestly, like I really say hip hop saved my life. And those times, man, like, you know, when I was going through like a lot, man, there's a lot of the music and songs and just having somebody to look up to, man. Like so many artists, you know, I'm not gonna name them all right now though, but a lot of them, like really, I had some like significant moments. You know, Scarface is one of them. LL Cool J, Outkast, like so many artists. Tupac, of course. You know, there's moments in life that I'm like, yo, this held me together, and I'm so grateful for it. So to be in the essence, the energy, the mecca, yo, that's wild, man. That's wild. Gotta do it, man. We gotta do it, yo.
And a bunch of them.
I love it, man. Yo, love it. People won't be seeing that, be like, yo. Man, that's some fly-ish right there, man. So
yeah,
that's peace, man.
Oh, you said it all, man. You said it all. It was
but yo, that gave me some like faith, you know what I mean? Because again, you know, I don't want to spend too much time on this particular session, but this weekend there has been a lot of like hiccups when it comes to festivals.
Oh, yo, you gotta talk about because I was so yo, thanks, Colleen. Thank you. But
yeah. Well, no, there's just been a lot of different festivals. I mean, people have been seeing Kingston Fest. There's like another festival. I actually thought like what happened at Kingston Fest was Cultureland. That's what it was. So at Cultureland, apparently the first day was a disaster. The second day, I'm not sure if like the permits got revoked or whatever, but they tried to change the venue 40 kilometers away to another venue 2 hours before the concert. Like literally impossible. Like you can't do that.
That is insane. I've never heard that ever.
No, never. There was someone on stage, I guess, like when the phone was like, hey, you know, I'm only human. He tried to give the I'm only human speech and just on some like, hey, like, yo, whatever. And people were just not having it. People are upset. How are you going to change the venue 2 hours before the show's about to start to somewhere else that's like not even like within like reach? You know what I'm saying? Like it's wild. People are already there. Like
from Ajax to Markham, like what?
Something like that, right? That's what it was, you know. So it's insane, completely disrespectful, and you know, again, like it's the lack of integrity and knowing that, yo, like it's not for me. It's not just music. Like there's the entertainment aspect, but then there's like that spiritual aspect, man. That this is like nourishment. This is our lives, you know what I mean? Like they're singing our experiences, you know what I mean? A lot of the artists are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into it. It's a lot more than just entertainment and doing your two-step, you know what I mean? It's much bigger than that.
Hell yeah.
And then there was Kingston Fest, which had like a similar situation where I think, I'm not exactly sure where that was. I believe it was, I'm not even gonna say, I don't even know where it was, but somewhere Toronto, maybe just north of Toronto, whatever. And, you know, PopCon, a whole bunch of other artists were you know, on the bill. And I heard that was also a disaster. The whole VIP section had one of those fences up and people swarmed the fence and broke down, and some folks got trampled and injured. The sound was trash. You know, I even heard like, like people who were in the VIP section like bought like drink tickets and whatnot, and the bar ran out, and then people couldn't even use their tickets and didn't get no refund. It was just a mess.
Oh,
On top of that, like, this is just a social observation. I'm not saying anything, but apparently, like, like the organizers of Kingston Fest, which we're talking about like Kingston, Jamaica, not Kingston, Ontario. You know what I mean? We're talking about Kingston, Jamaica, and reggae music and artists. The people who are running this festival, were some, like, I don't know, like some like Italian folks. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm just saying, social observation. Y'all can do whatever you want to do with the information after that. I'm just saying, this goes back to the idea of integrity with our culture. And I'm not saying that, people outside the culture can't do it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the context of integrity has to be crucial when we're dealing with our people, our culture, and who we represent. Because
like the motto of Jamaica is "out of many, one people."
Right.
Yes, this is true, and yes, us Jamaican people know, like, you can find all kinds of people there. This is true. That being said, are these people showing their face? Are these people showing that, hey, we are the people, like, we are the people behind Kingston Fest, and we promise that we are, like, live this and breathe this, and we are authentically, like, either like Jamaican culture, to, like, we come from Jamaica, or like we're not fraudulent about what we are doing, or like we've aligned ourselves with people that are Jamaican people if we are not actually from there, and like not actually live and breathe this long enough to actually make a goddamn whole festival and be responsible for a major community event that is based upon Jamaica. Like, like, we ain't just going to do, me and you can't just do Italy Fest next week.
Come on, bro.
And just like put like red, green, and white thing, and just be like, let's just serve spaghetti and like show.
No, they ain't having that. First of all, like, they ain't having that. That would never fly. That would never fly.
They would, because they would stone us, man.
Right. So this goes back to like everything I'm saying, and I love that we have, Rock the Bells as contrast, because everything that you said is something that we can like take forward, and and I'm going to have that in my toolbox, because there's a lot that's happening within the Toronto hip hop scene right now, and there's opportunities to restore integrity so that we don't get lost in the sauce like these festivals. Like, I'm looking at Rock the Bells as that, when you have like the mayor, you have the levels of government paying homage to the founders and doing it respectfully. Having the people who are running the festival, it's a whole like, conglomerate of those who really showed improve. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's questionable. You look at all of them, you're like, yep. Okay, everything is in good hands. Do what you got to do, boss. But when there's like people who are running the scene behind the scene, where it's just like, it's, and I'm not saying that it can't be done, but how to restore integrity is about having the authentic people there at the table as well, to ensure, because things do need to grow. We do need new energy and new blood and new ways of being and how to, like, expand and so on and so forth, but at the same time, it's a lest we forget. It's a je me souviens. It's a never again. It's all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to make sure we got to have integrity, man. So
you nailed it all. You nailed it all, man. And like, I only named a couple of the people, but like, they had banners for each one of those people, and like, most of the, like, it was a really interesting thing. Eminem was the only, like, not to fucking bring up this stupid thing again, but Eminem was the only white cat in there. But I'm like, Eminem is putting money in this, yo.
Right.
They had banners of like all the heads. It was mostly like Kool Herc, Roxanne Shante, Big Daddy Kane, Fab Five Freddy, I think Nas. And like, they had banners up in the, I'm trying to find the pictures of it that I took, but I can't, they're not right here.
Yeah, you got like thousands of photos.
Man. And probably, just straight up, I was like, I'm in New York. I don't want to look like a tourist too hard, but I want to do all this, but I'm like, I don't want to look like a mark. But like, at the same time, I'm like, I'm geeking out. And I'm like, I am in Mecca. And that's why, like, it really it touched my heart so deep, man. Like, it's still reverberating still through me, but like, it really, like, they put banners up in the venue to like, these are our icons. These are the ones we champion. Like, these are the people that you're investing in. So it's like, did Kingston Fest be like, these are the people that start, like, did they show their faces to be like, we're the ones who put the money up and are supporting this? Maybe not. Because maybe they wanted that. So like, I wasn't there. I was at Rock the Bells.
It's a good question to ask. It's a question worth exploring. Yes, indeed.
At Rock the Bells, I felt it was one of the most positive experiences. Cops were there, but like, it wasn't like, it felt like just a positive community event in New York City, where I was like, it was safe enough where I didn't feel like anything bad would happen.
I gotta interject there. You said it's a positive community event. Like, yes, it is a hip hop concert, it is a hip hop festival. But what you just said is so critical to, I think, a lot of like the mistakes and things that other festivals forget. It's a community event. That is crucial, especially in the context of hip hop culture, you know, and I think that's where a lot of people drop the ball, you know what I mean? They're all about how can we scale the finances? How can we bring in certain acts to bring in the more dollars and whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that is something that has to be like written in policy. Like, you know what I mean? This is something that has to be a way of life, you know? And I love that. And I wasn't there, but I can picture like even the officers, you know what I mean, are there and they know that they're just there just to, you know, whatever, like literally like keep the peace if need be, but they're not like looking and trying to like, you know, instigate or whatever the case, you know what I mean? Like,
I will tell you two things that showed me how blessed this was. On the way there, I'm like, yo, black man at the border. I've been stopped at the border more than once where I'm like, yo, this is a hassle for me to get in.
Yeah.
I was stressing about it. I go to the border this time. They're like, what's your purpose for coming here, sir? I'm going to a LL Cool J concert. Guy looks at me. Yeah, whatever, girl. So I'm like, he's like, what's your purpose for coming here? I'm going to an LL. All I said was, I'm going to an LL Cool J concert. Looks at me, goes, 44? You're about the right age group. Go on in. That's what the U.S. officer said. I'm like, that's peace to hip hop. That's peace to the name LL.
It is.
That's peace to the name LL Cool J. It's like, yo, an American dude, it's like, yo, this ain't even like, you're not going to a 50 Cent or Griselda concert. You're not going to like, yo, you're going to an American musician's concert. Okay, cool. Looked at me, go on in. I was like,
oh, just like that. Wow.
I was like, yo, peace. I was like, peace to that. You know, one of my easiest border slides. So I go through the border. And then, so at the venue, like, all the cops were outside. They're just like, yeah, like any event. They're just like, we just want, like, there's 20,000 people here. We just want to make sure it's okay. Like, okay. There was never any like tension between the cops and the people. And like, I was like, yo, this is amazing. And then you go inside, there's the food court, there's the DJ thing where I saw DJ Scratch. And then you couldn't really hear the venue because the way they set it up, the stadium was set up where all the sound, it's in Forest Hill Stadium in Queens.
Wow.
So like they set it up where the sound stays in. So like, so there's all these houses and like, it's in a neighborhood, but you're like, the neighborhood is not being disturbed by the concert.
Oh,
like I'm like,
interesting.
Like, and then like, I'm like, yo, I'm outside. Like we were at getting water. I'm like looking for like Scratch. And I'm like, it's so quiet out here. And then I'm seeing like projects right outside my project, like apartment buildings and stuff in Queens. And like, and then you go in the stadium and it's mad loud. And I'm like, wow. Yo, like they chose this venue to be like, it's not gonna mash up the community. Like this is a good thing for Queens. Like the conscious choice to do it. Like
man,
all the things, all the things that I'm like, yo, they set this up to be real good. Done by like 11 o'clock, 11:30, we're out. Not like,
man, like, you know, this goes into like, you know, like
no violence. That's all I like. No violence. I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. No violence.
It goes how it's like woven into like city planning, and everybody is on the same page and doing what they can to like maximize like, you know, the integrity of everything. You know what I mean? And that's just beautiful to hear, man. Like I think there's a lot that we can like study. I mean, man, like I'm gonna start studying New York a little more deeply. You know what I mean? Especially of how they integrate like the culture within the community, within the city, and how like different levels of government are on board, right? Because especially with the hip hop museum, like I think this is something that Toronto can maybe take a page from, man, take some notes from. because there's something magical there. You know, they understand something. They understand like the importance of the culture. You know, they understand like what it means to the people, what it means to the community. So I'm inspired, you know, and I wasn't even there. I'm just going off of like, you know, like the stories that you're sharing with us, man, through oral tradition.
every word that you say is on point. It's accurate. It's the truth. And like going there to New York, like they live it, breathe it. I mean, on one level, like some of them kind of take it for granted in some ways, but like when it's all around you, it's like, how much can you really give to it? It's like, hey, you know, if you've been there and done that, and like, yo, you do it as much as you want to do it, but you don't disrespect it, you don't abandon it or whatever. Like,
right.
You know, if you can't be at every show, you don't got to be there, but like,
right.
Contribute how you feel is right. That being said, like, I mean, you know, I don't want to, I've cried more on this show than I ever cried on this shit, but like, that being said, like Rock the Bells was absolutely fantastic. And I made a Reminisce Show level connection down there. I just got to send mad love to the brother Sid Locks. I met a dread down there. Can't get into it too deep. Like I just, some future seeds have been planted. And what we are doing here, a brother is doing down there and capturing the culture. So,
well, you already know what it is, man.
Connections were made. And all I will say is that dude took me to the Big L mural.
Oh,
and like, I can't even talk much about it because I feel the tears coming back. So it's like,
and you know, one thing I love that, you know, first of all, that mural has been up for mad years, like since, and it looks like it hasn't been defaced. There has been respect. It's like
the respect that it is given. It's flawless. I can't even talk. You talk about it, man. I can't even talk.
Yeah, about like, you know, like Big L, like passed, like, you know, or I shouldn't say passed, man, was murdered. You know, murdered. What, like, was it 99 or so?
99.
Okay, I'm good. I'm on it. So that, you know what I mean, that's like, you know, a long time, man. That's over 20 years right there. And it's like fresh. I love when I see that, and I feel like there's quite a bit of you know, murals in New York that are like that, where it's just respect, man. It's like, yo, you don't even touch that, man. Like you let the man live, like the respect, you know. And that's what I mean by the connection to a community. You know what I mean? Like the element of community is so like understood. You know what I mean? It's like diplomatic community. Like it's in this whole other, you know, space. You know what I'm saying? Come on, yo. Okay, man, you're out there, man. You're there, bro.
Sorry for the glare, but that's Big L Street and Malcolm X Boulevard.
Oh man,
like,
come on, man. The danger zone, yo.
They give street signs to these kings, yo.
Man, whew. Well, thank you for sharing that. It really just showed me, man, that, you know, when it comes to our culture, yes, like money, you know, helps. It solves money problems and it helps to, you know, push things forward. But, you know, we can't forget, you know, the foundations. You know what I mean? Like as the saying goes, like, what is it, you know, if we gain the world, man, but lose our soul? Yeah. You know, and they say that everybody has a price, but I'm a firm believer that certain things are just not for sale. You know what I mean? Certain things are just not for sale, yo.
Can never be, man. It can never be. It can never be sold ever. And all the money in the world isn't worth one soul. Isn't worth one artist's freedom. Isn't worth one black life. All the money in the world isn't worth one of us, yo. Straight up.
Go, man. Let's go.
That shit is.
That was beautiful, man. Like a beautiful positive spin on festivals. And again, man, like Rock the Bell should be like something that we can like really study to maintain the integrity and things that we can bring here in Toronto, man, because there's a lot of energy circulating, man. Like there's a lot, but we as a community, I say community, man, we got to get our act together, you know what I mean? And you know, push things forward, yo. But that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. That's why we created Reminisce Show, Sankofa vibes all day, every day, man.
All day, every day, fam. And like
bringing it.
This is our life. And like, yo, I'm gonna just say, like, hey, we like, you know, we can start talking about it a bit now because we are like basically 1 year away. Like, this is the show before 1 year before the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So
Woo!
we are,
Man.
This is year 49 hip hop's.
Yeah, let's go.
August, I always mix this up. August 14th, August 13th. It's like
okay,
August 14th.
That's beautiful, man. Man.
So
I'm gonna have to like go back in my archives and play some of like the original tunes, man, that I grew up with. I mean, I know everybody has their own playlists and whatnot, but I feel like I'm gonna put together a mess of like, yo, these are the songs that really like, I like found myself. I found like my tribe. I mean, I'm like, whoa, like this, I want to be part of this.
Straight up, fam. And like, so we got 1 more year to go, and I mean, I'm with you. Like, I can't wait to get back to New York City next year. We got to be there for the 50th anniversary, and that's what part of the reason why we building this Reminisce Show, man. We got to be celebrating there with the gods and the kings and our people, and just in Mecca, like, it's just gonna be fantastic. And shake Nas's hand and give a daps to Ernie and see Roxanne Shante or something, whatever. It's like, and just like bow to Kool Herc and be like, thank you, all of that, man. So thank you, thanks for hearing, man. It was good to share, man. Like, this is
man,
sharing here, like, burst my heart open, man. Like,
you got to
still processing it all, man. And like, I thank y'all for listening and feeling. So
that's it, man. That's what we do, man. We carry the traditions of Sankofa, man, because sometimes we got to go back and collect what we may have forgotten. This is the Reminisce Show every Tuesday, man. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, man. We're going to keep bringing you the real, man, coming from the heart, coming from the soul, and bringing the people who are there as well, So stay tuned, man, for more insights, more interviews, and all that good stuff. That's how we doing it, man.
Yes.
That's what's up, man. We're going to sign off like that.
Peace, righteous, peace.
Man, peace.
And all our people. See y'all soon. We got more to come.